Hello friends, welcome back to Education InfoTech channel. Today we're going to discuss about tasks in IICS. Okay, we do have different tasks in IICS. So these are mapping task, application task, and synchronization task, power center, data transfer, dynamic, and masking. So majorly we will use mapping task, application, synchronization, power center, data transfer, dynamic. Okay. So this mapping task we will use based on the business requirement only. If there are any sensitive data needs to be hide, so at that time only we'll use this masking task. So majorly we'll use this in banking domains. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one now. So mapping task. What is mapping task? It's like session in Power Center. Okay. So here if you see mapping task, it's a reusable pipeline that executes a predefined mapping, okay, which defines how data is moved and transformed between the source and systems. So how we can normally create the mapping task in ISDS, okay? So let's check that. So before that, we'll see what is this theoretically what is this mapping task, okay? Uh, So first we will design the mapping it and then we will be saving in a data integration model. Okay. So then we will create a mapping task. I always tell you right before whenever you create a mapping. So for that particular mapping you have to create a mapping task. Okay. So that is nothing but that is the here the description is all about. So we to create a mapping task by associating with it with the mapping. Whenever we create a mapping, okay. For that mapping, we will be creating the mapping task. It's like a mapping task is like a workflow. Inside the workflow, we'll be having session, right? In the same way, this is a mapping, and for this mapping, we'll create a mapping task, and we'll be selecting the runtime environment. Okay, and setting parameters if there are any in which to be done, that will be selected. Once it is saved, then we can run the task manually, or we can schedule it for automatic execution. Okay, the task provides features like parameterization, error handling, and performance optimization with execution monitored by a monitor module. Okay, for tracking whether the mapping task is succeeded or failed. Okay, let's check that in the ISS. Okay, so here once you logged in, when you click on this name, you will get the new asset, right? So you can see the tasks tab. Let's see what is this process that you configure to analyze, extract, transform, and load data. Okay. Here you can see mapping task, synchronization task, masking task, replication task, power center task, dynamic mapping task, and data transfer task. Whatever I have mentioned here. So these are all available in the new asset file. Okay. So first, if you select mapping task, process data based on the data flow logic defined in a mapping. Okay. So let me select this. We are creating everyday mapping set. I'll just select one mapping for this. What I'll do in yesterday session we have discussed about target, right? So for mapping task we have to give empty, whereas for mapping right? So empty underscore we have to give empty underscore target transformation. You can give the same name, okay? You can give the same whatever you have given in the mapping, the same name you can give in here so that it will be helpful to identify the mapping task. So select the location and description. If you want to write about this job, you can give the description here and select the runtime environment. And here if you see, select the mapping. So this is the mapping net which I have selected. So I'll select this. Yesterday we discussed about this, and so same mapping I'm selected. Okay, then click on next, and we have runtime options here. There are so many options here: error handling and If you want to if you want to increase the performance of this job, you can do here. Push down optimization and all things are there, and email notifications. There are any parameter files, how you want to execute this job. So all the runtime options are here. If you want to schedule it, just click on this. So you can schedule. Do not run on a schedule or run on a schedule. You can select here, click on new schedule, schedule name and schedule options. When it has to start, what is the time zone? Okay, you can give all this. And next is email notifications. Whether this job got failed or succeeded, it needs to be informed to the respective team members. Let's say if this job is failed, so due to some bad records are coming, so that mail should be sent to the developers so that they will check that email and they will inform to the upstream application teams. So if it got succeeded, so then it's the success email with all the status details should be sent to the developer as well as team leader. So then you can configure here. Okay. Use the default email notification option for my organization or use custom email notification option for this task. So default is by default it will be there in the integration in this Informatica. Okay, by default you will get one pop-up email. So if you want to create a custom email, then you can create here failure email notification, warning if there are any warnings. So that you need to get as a notification and success. So these are all the three options we have. And advanced options. So in PowerCenter we'll be having in the session properties slide. If you go to what is that tab is it? Some properties I think. Property or commands tab is there. Under that, if you will see pre-processing, post-processing. So all these commands you can give here itself. Okay. And parameter file location. If you are using any parameters, you need to give the directory name and the file name. If it is a cloud hosted, click on this cloud hosted and give the connection. It should be the connection should be created before you are going to use this. So you will get the connection details here, and you need to select that object. Okay, if it is a local, click on local, give the details here. And execution mode. So standard is nothing but we'll be using this. Normally we'll be using standard only. So it will give all the target and source properties and how many records loaded, how many records got read, write. Okay. So all kind of information will be generated in the log file. Okay. If you select this verbose, it will be created in detail, but it will take use a lot of memory while creating the session log. If you want to debug the job, then you can use this verbose mode. Then you can run the job. Then once you download the session log, you will get each and every detail will get from starting to ending. Step by step, all the details will be getting. So this is all about execution. Then SQL ETL option. This is nothing but a performance tuning. Okay. So in IICS, it is named as a SQL ETL optimization type. So if you select this type, we'll have to source to target field, or we can give it as a parameter. And advanced session properties here will be handling all the error handlings. And if you click on this, just here you will get all kind of properties here. That session log file name, log file directory, connection values, target values, source to target file directory, commit type, commit interval, and rollback transactions on error. And we do have enable high precision. Okay, allow it for upper and connections, advanced, and so datetime format strings, error handling. If you see error handling, stop on error. If you get one error, it will stop the uh, execution. Okay, override tracing, store procedures errors. If you get any store procedure error, the job should hold. Okay, or execute or terminate. So all these kind of options will be there. So So these are all about the runtime options. Okay, now let's save it. You see, it was saved successfully. So it should be valid. Okay. Now if you run this job, now you can run the job. Before I used to run only mapping, right? For that same mapping, I just created a mapping task and just click on this run. Yes. Since the data is already there and we are not doing anything, so it should not load any or update record. Sorry, we don't have records here because we have done the delete, right? Delete mapping we have created. So first time it will load all the records. So we got 14 records and you select this. So this is how the job will run. So this is all about mapping task and replication task. So replication, what is mean by this replication itself? We can know that replicate the data. Suppose if you want to take a backup of some table or some schema. So in that case, we can use this replication task. Okay. So if we go here, go to new, here we have the task, right? Replication task. Copy data from a Salesforce or database source to a target or file target. So let us create this. So here we are not creating any mappings. Just in the mapping itself, we'll be having all the options. So replication task. So I'll select this name task source DB. Okay. Location is default. Description I'm not giving. Source connection. It's a Oracle source. You want to replicate all, or if you want to include only. So what I'll do, I'll select only 2 or 3 tables. Once you click on that, we'll get all the table details from that particular schema. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just replicate employee and company. So here we got it. Select. So here we'll get. Okay. And if there are any requests you want to cancel or you want to continue. So cancel processing remaining objects, continue processing of the remaining objects. Suppose let's say while running, I got some error in the employee table. So whether you want to continue loading the second company table or you want to uh, just process the remaining objects, I mean the company. So what I'll do, if any error I'll get, I'll just cancel here itself and the job should terminate. Click on next. Now we need to configure the target. You see here, target is a flat file target. Target prefix name SF underscore. Okay. So since it is a trial, we don't see here the options here. All are disabled. Okay. It's a full load. Each one we are selecting as a full load. Commit size. If you want to give commit size, we can give here how many rows you want to commit. Okay. Click on next. Field executions. If you want to exclude any fields. So let's say in employee, I don't want some fields. So then you can select this and you can click this right arrow. So you have to add here whatever fields you need to exclude, that you can exclude it. Okay. So as of now, I'm not selecting any. Next, click on next. So data filters, whether you want to process all the rows or process only the first 100 rows. So if you want to give any filters, you can click here, select the respective table and you can give the department ID equals to something. Okay. If you want to filter here also, we can do the filter. Instead of taking filter transformation, here itself we can filter the data. Click on next. So you want to schedule or run it. If you want to get any pre-processing, post-processing comments and execution modes, you want to get any email notifications, we can give here. Let's say. So warning on success should go to Okay. On success email notification. So I think we need to write some job, but see that. Okay, finish it. So this is the job we have created now, and whatever we selected there, everything will show it in one format here. So these are the source details and these are the target details and field execution we haven't selected. Data filter, scheduling, non-email notification, success email notification, job got succeeded. Okay, now let's run this. So what we are doing here, if you go here, we have two tasks, company and employee. We can check the status of each schema. So employee one is 5 got succeeded and then row process 10. Okay. Mm. So replication task has been completed. Now if we check in, yeah, if we see in the target file directory SF company and SF employee. So we got 5 records in employee and in company we got all these records. Okay. So that is how we can do the replication task. If you want to replicate data in target table also, you can do that. Next, synchronization. So synchronization, what we'll do basically to synchronize the data. Okay, let's say we have some data in Oracle table and some data in MySQL server. Okay, and we are running the jobs in Oracle. Okay, so the same data should be synchronized in MySQL. So whenever we suppose let's say the business wants to take the data for analysis purpose from the Oracle table or from the MySQL table. So in that case, the analysis team they can take data from any servers. Okay. So but the thing is the data should be in synchronized. So in that purpose, we'll use this synchronization task to synchronize data between a source and target system by moving and transforming data based on specific business rules. If you want to do some operations like some logics or from filters, okay, so that we can define. So it allows for one-time or recurring data transfers, enable integration between various systems. So great synchronization, we need to define source and target relation, select the data field to map, and apply filter or transformation. And configure option insert, update, delete, upset or operation. Okay. So we can do this insert, update, delete, and upset operations as well. And it will also support incremental data loading and can be scheduled on run or demand. So and we can execute this in a monitor. So let's check this synchronization now. So go to new. Here you can say synchronization. Synchronize data between a source and a target to integrate application, database and files. So let's create now. So synchronize task. Source to okay. Location is default. Task operation, whether you want to insert, update, offset, or delete. So what we'll do, we have this table right in the target. So let's take this one only. So I'll select insert, okay. And the source connection, so Oracle. Here also we can take multiple queries or it's a saved query. Source object, Where is that employee info? So here we can see the data. So click on next. So insert, right? What I'll do, I'll just insert one record here. Okay. So I'll insert this and I'll come. So we have Shaker. What we need to do? So let's assume this target is in another server. So we need to synchronize data. Still 14 we have here. Okay, and I'll reselect it because the data needs to be loaded, right? Employee info. Click on next. And target. What is the target? Which in which schema you need to synchronize the data? So that we need to select the underscore. Where is that employee info? Yeah. Okay. Truncate table? No. I don't want to truncate. Okay. Enable target bulk flow? No. So next. Process all rows. If you want to filter any, you can filter. And field mapping. We need to map here. Okay. So here do the smart map. So it's already mapped all the fields. Okay. So here star is nothing but all the column, all these columns are not null columns. So here key, if you see the primary key, and here also primary key. So if you want to validate, you can validate the mapping here itself. So the field mapping is valid and has no errors. So now then, if you want to refresh fields, you can refresh here. And if you want to add maplets also, you can select that particular maplets. Okay. Click on next and finish. So it's like insert operation. Okay. From employee info to the target employee info. And I have done the mapping. Let me run. So we got some error warnings. What is that? Error loading road to target. Violated. Correct. Because here what it will do, it will load all. We are processing all the. Here we have selected. You see here process all rows. Okay, by default it's a trial period. Will have only this option. Otherwise, we'll be having. We'll see that here. Where is the definition? Source, target, data filter. Yeah. So here we'll have, right. So for that, since these are not null columns, okay. So for that, it is giving warning. That's okay. We can ignore it. Since we have already 14 records in the target, so it got ignored, and one record has been updated. New record is right. So that's why it loaded only one record. If you see, we have a, here you can see shaker. So it is loaded. So in this way, we can use this synchronization task. Okay. and we have a power center task next. The power center task is nothing but if we have a uh, uh, it's nothing but allows you to run existing workflows or sessions created in Informatica Power Center within the IICS environment. If you want to execute some Informatica Power Center workflows in IICS, so with this Power Center task, we can run the jobs, or we can run the jobs in IICS. Okay. So this is particularly useful for organizations migrating from on-premises Power Center to cloud, enabling them to leverage existing software. So nowadays, all the organization moving to IICS environment, right, to the cloud version. So whoever are using on-premises Power Center, they need to migrate to the cloud servers. So in that way, we can in migrate if you are in the migration project, this task will help you a lot. Okay, so it's very simple. Go to we'll directly see this. Click on new task. Go to Power Center task. Okay, so you can import the Power Center workflow. So you can run it as a cloud data integration. Click on this create. So Power Center task and the location runtime environment and workflow XML. We need to upload here the XML file. So as of now, I don't have any Power Center XML files handy with me. So if I have, I'll just could have shown you here. Let me export one Informatica job. Okay. So I'm just running the services. Just give me some time. I'll just export and I'll import the XML file here. Okay. Okay. I got exported one job from Informatica Power Center. Let me upload it. Okay. Let's check all files. So this is one. Okay. Assign sequence value. I'll just open it. Okay. Click on OK. The workflow with the following is unable to evaluate expression using this content. Post manager. Okay. Well. So under this, we have just right click on this, export. Okay. So I'll select this. Okay. Now done. Choose file. So create file. Open. Okay. Yeah. Now it got exported. So now what we have to do, and we don't have any parameters, and so here we have to give the connection values. So select source, target is target, that is with the connection. So luckily I'm using the same okay, the same source and target connections only, so it should match. It's still loading. Okay, we have here. So let us test it so that okay, so the connections are working fine. So all the source and target is fine. In the transformation, T underscore sequence, it is a target definition, and the connection reference is target. S underscore sequence, SQ underscore sequence, source qualifier, right? So connection reference is source. So everything is same. Mapping parameters, I'm not saying. Mapping variables, there are no variables. Okay, I'll just save it. Okay, and it has been saved and we don't see any errors. Now let me run it. Let's see. Okay, got process 10 rows. Okay, so from source it has 10 and from target it has loaded a entire 10 records. So here, so I need to check one thing. E underscore sequence source is S underscore sequence, right? Let me check if we have that table names. Yeah, here we have. Okay, it got loaded. Okay, and the target is T underscore sequence. T underscore sequence should be there here. So all the 10 records have been loaded. So this is how you can import the PowerCenter jobs into IICS. Okay, if you have any doubts, let me know while importing any workflow from Informatica PowerCenter, and we'll discuss here. And what we have, so PowerCenter is done, and we have a data transfer task. So this is also like if you want to compare or if you want to like give the formats expressions, okay, or if you want to do any encryptions, set of handling existing files on errors. It supports scheduling, okay. If you want to transfer the file movement between file system or between on-premises and cloud environments. So this task is ideal for transferring large files without complex data transformation. So simply it's like one-to-one mapping. Instead of that, you can use this data transfer task. Go here and move data from a source to a target with some simple filters. So let's create data transfer task. Select your runtime environment. Okay, click on next. So here we have to give the source and target details. Select the object. It's like simple one-to-one mapping, but so based on the requirement, it may get complicated. Okay, since we have here only the limited target tables. So if you want to filter any data, you can filter here, and if you want to sort any data, here also we can sort the data. By default, we have ascending. Since it is a trial version, you don't have option to select descending order. If you want to select the field name, you can select here. So based on employee ID and sorting the data. Okay, click on next. Do you want to add a secondary source? If you want to, it's like you can add multiple sources as well. So, but there should be a relation, okay? Then only we can do. So database you can do lookup conditions on that, and you can do the filter. So as of I'm not selecting, and select the target, select the schema. So which one I have selected? Let me check here in the source. Employee, right? In the target, T underscore employee. Okay. So I'm doing insert. Before that, I'll just trunk it. And to preview that data, you can preview here itself. So we don't have any data here. Click on next. field mapping. So by default, we have done it. Smart map we have done. So name department location ID, name department location ID. Click on next and save it. So it's a valid now. Let us run this. So what is the T underscore employee, right? So 5 records are there and we need to should be loaded. So we have 5 records. Okay, got succeeded. In this way, you can just use based by using some limited filters and some sorting, so we can transfer the data from one source to the another source. So that is all about one data transfer task. Now we'll discuss about dynamic mapping task. So this is also, it's like similar. If we have some multiple files, okay, if you want to load it into a single target. So in PowerCenter, we used to take multiple sources, right? And we'll be having source and source qualifier. So if we have the same file structure, like 5 files and same structure, so they can, you can just in that way, what we can do. So we need to create a 5 mappings, right? Sorry, not same structure. If we have different files also, so we need to create a different 5 mappings. So, but here with this dynamic mapping task, what we can do, we can simply select all the jobs inside this one mapping task, and we can so we can select the sequence of job execution, and we can load into the target table. Okay, that uh, this we'll discuss in separate session because it will take time. So you have to understand each the step-by-step process. So this is dynamic mapping task. So configure and run multiple data pipeline jobs from one mapping. In single mapping, we can create a multiple jobs. Okay. So I select the mapping, just one parameter. Yeah. So we need to create a parameters as well. So we'll discuss in the next session this one. Okay. So this is all about different tasks in IICS. Okay. So go through this document and you will get a clear idea, and also watch this video and do the practical sessions so that you can understand in a better way. So I hope you guys understood this. We'll discuss about this dynamic mapping task in the next session. Okay, if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please do hit the like button and support my videos in the same way. Thank you guys. We'll meet in the next session. Have a great day. Bye.